He made the running and the run-up to this conference with his very public pronouncements on Brexit. On the stage, though, from Boris Johnson, a message of unity today.
Theresa May won. She won more votes than any party leader and took this party to its highest share of the vote in any election in the last 25 years.
She has felt the pressure, though. When I spoke to the Prime Minister today, I asked her if this week showed she wasn't strong enough to discipline her Foreign Secretary.
First of all, that isn't a test of leadership. Actually, strong leadership is about having different voices sitting around the table rather than just yes men. Boris did sign up. We had the cabinet meeting about my Florence speech. That set the government's next position on the Brexit talks.
His people are going around saying that he intervened and changed the nature of your Florence speech, and it's because of his intervention that you ended up saying what you did in Florence.
No, the Florence speech was the result of discussions around cabinet. And yes, my judgment about what was necessary to say at this stage in the negotiations.
Do you think Boris Johnson has the qualities to be a Prime Minister one day?
Boris is in my cabinet as the Foreign Secretary. He's speaking at party conference.
Does he have the qualities, though, one day?
He's speaking... Well, can I just say this? There's this fascination people have with the job of Boris or, you know, individual jobs within the cabinet. Actually, for most members of the public, that isn't what they're thinking about. And that isn't what they want government to be thinking about, and it's not what they want the Prime Minister to be focusing on.
It's been an extraordinary year for you personally. You faced disappointment, you faced great challenges to the country, terrorist attacks, Grenfell Tower. It would have taken its toll on anyone. Would you say it's taken some toll on you?
What I think is important is that I carry on listening to people, as we have done and as the party and government is doing, and then making sure that we're delivering for people.
You see, when you answer in that way, and I understand you do answer in that way, people are saying, this is the Maybot. This is what people say about you. Do you find that personally difficult if people try and present you in this way as if you have no feelings?
Well, I don't think, I'm certainly somebody with feelings. I don't recognise that characterisation of myself. I suppose the simple thing is that I've always thought that when you're a politician, your job is actually to do what you can to improve the lives of members of the public. And that's what the focus should be. And there's a lot of talk these days on personalities and so forth. But actually, when it comes down to it, you know, political personality doesn't make the difference between, for example, somebody getting a job or not getting a job.
You think, for instance, after the Grenfell Tower, very difficult moment, do you accept that you didn't make that connection and that people wanted to see that?
Well, I don't think actually the issue of the response to Grenfell was about me or my reaction to it.
It was part of it.
Well, but I think the most important thing, surely, and look, you know, that was a terrible tragedy, and some of the stories I've heard from people I've met and heard about people who were involved in that were, you know, really heart-wrenching stories. The story I heard of a member of NHS staff who was in the hospital, who lived in Grenfell Tower. His family were in Grenfell Tower. He had to decide whether to stay in the hospital and help those who were being brought in or go back home to look after his family. He stayed in the hospital. That's, you know, a heart-wrenching story. But actually, from government's point of view, the important thing is to make sure that support and help was there for the victims.
Prime Minister, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.